Birmingham Sports
with Ben Ellis.
This is BHBN Radio.
It is the Monday after from Birmingham Sport, BHBN Radio. It's our weekly review of all of the action that we brought our audience across the wards in the hospitals of Birmingham and Solihull, some care homes as well. And for the next 40 minutes or so, we're just going to chew the cud. I'm Ben Ellis, talking you through all of the action and leading the discussion. And our esteemed panel we're going to get to as we go along. People are joining at various times. The action, you can listen to this if you go to our YouTube and TikTok channels, where we ask you to click like and subscribe. From Friday night at Molineux, where Wolves beat Aston Villa by 2-0. I'm going to start with Wolves specifically because I think it's important that we do, because on the other side of the coin, I've got a lot to say. And I'm just a bit worried that it could go on a bit long and Wolves could be, or we could be accused of forgetting about them. So we're going to nip that in the bud straight away. Wolves 2-0 winners on the night. They've now got the monkey off their back of being potentially the worst team that's ever played in the Premier League. They've gone past Derby County's points total. Ed Mackay is with us. And Ed, I mean, they don't want to fall into the trap of starting to hope, because that's obviously when things can really go wrong. But I tell you what, though, when you're in a position where everybody in the league is thinking, when are we playing Wolves? Now they're a dangerous prospect, aren't they? Because
no
now
one's thinking
there is
that.
absolutely no pressure on them. And if they show the levels of passion and commitment and fight that they showed, albeit in a derby game on Friday night, teams going for Champions League places, other teams who are looking to stay in the Premier League, maybe even fighting for Europe, Wolves ain't the gimme anymore.
They're certainly not. Nobody is thinking, I can't wait to play Wolves. My team, Liverpool, play them twice this week. I'll be there at the Molineux on Tuesday, and I can tell you now, I'm not looking forward to it, because the fight they are showing now is pretty phenomenal. I think we were always fair. First of all, it's right that Wolves get their flowers first, because like you say, I know you're gonna have a lot to say about Villa's performance, but Wolves turned up. That's the difference between virtually, well, the other two Midlands teams that played this weekend. Wolves turned up, and the other two didn't. I'm sure we'll preview Birmingham, but Wolves came with some serious fight. And the thing about the the way they've operated since they have, I guess, since they've been taken over by Rob Edwards, is they have brought much more dynamism, much more fight, much more aggression to their play. Okay, last week they made a mistake against Palace, but in the whole, they've been a better team under him. And as you say, now they've hit that that benchmark of overcoming the 11 points. I don't think anybody should be looking forward to playing Wolves now.
Well, you've said you're not. Enton Barefoot is with us, and he's a Liverpool fan as well. Do you feel the same way, Enton?
Um, yes and no. It's first and foremost, it's good to see that Wolves are they played really well, and I think Villa got frustrated because Wolves actually turned up, and there was a period of time where you just think like, oh, hang on a minute, like why haven't we seen this Wolves for a while back? So. But before I obviously talk about Liverpool, I think it's important that the Wolves, that was a great performance, and I think it exposed a lot from Villa as well. So missing Tillemans is obviously massive for Villa, but Wolves were just incredible. They were really, really good. So I'm not as worried as what Ed is. I think it'll be a great atmosphere. I think they'll turn up and they'll give Liverpool a game. I just think Liverpool have got something extra, that's all. So, but it's good that Wolves are in, that they won, and the momentum is building.
Not that I'm ungrateful as to everybody who's joined us on the call here. Kim Smith's here, Paddy Silk's arrived as well. Would have been nice to have one of our team. We have more than one on the team who's a Nottingham Forest fan, who have now got themselves the manager that got Wolves into this mess in the first place, in Vitor Pereira. And with Forest losing at Brighton and losing last week against Liverpool in the last minute, it's going okay as far as the Europa League is concerned. But yeah, Vitor Pereira might not be the magician to get Forest out of it. And Rob Edwards, okay, they're going to go down. We still think they're going to go down, but they're going to be quite the prospect under Rob Edwards in the Championship next season. Ed.
Well, let's have it right. They are going to go down. There's no question of that. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. However, they have um, appointed a manager who is a promotion specialist from the Championship. He's done it before. He's been there. He knows the landscape there. So they went early. We all thought, oh, you've gone a bit early there, but he's got his team fighting. They got through the January transfer saga, if you like, of clearing out the players who just don't want to be there. I do think they've got one issue, and that's trying to hold on to young Mateus Mane, because he is the impetus that makes them tick at the moment. He gives them that pace on the outball. So when you try to break, he's there and he does drag you up the pitch. I mean, Rob Edwards, he's done phenomenally well. I think he'll do well in the Championship, but it does depend on what squad you put together for that campaign. And we've seen that with, well, Birmingham are a great example, in fact, of people who are assembling a squad to make a promotion pledge next season. And that's what Wolverhampton Wanderers need to do.
Yeah, and as you say, 2 games to come at Molineux against Liverpool this week. The Premier League on Tuesday. The FA Cup tie on Friday night will be live on BHBN across the wards, and all of the action, like we said, you'll be able to listen to it on our 2 channels, YouTube and TikTok. Now, are we all sitting comfortably? Want to put your feet up or get some popcorn or something, or because I was ready to go on Friday night at 10 o'clock. I put in our WhatsApp group, I wish we were recording right now, because I was about ready to blow. And I thought all throughout Saturday and during today, we record on Sunday. Do you know what? We're going to get to recording time, and it's going to be the best part of 48 hours on from, and I might have.
You've got over it now, haven't you,
I might
Ben?
have got over it. I might have calmed down, been more philosophical about it, all of this kind of thing. Well, no, I'm not in any way, shape, or form. I'm just as furious as I was at 10 o'clock on Friday night. And the reason we've done Wolves and we've given them their flowers, as Ed says, because my point is going to be a general one. It's not a dig at Wolverhampton Wanderers. I want to make that absolutely clear right now. This is statistically, I said second worst. I've been corrected that it's the third worst because Southampton had less points when they went down. This is now, as we speak, statistically the third worst team to ever play in the Premier League. And against Aston Villa on Friday night, they wanted it more. They wanted it more. I cannot have that. I cannot accept that from my team. I don't mind if you play badly. If you have a bad game, you make a mistake, conditions were horrendous, fine. A team as bad as Wolves wanted it more. And that is what I'm really struggling with. And you know what about this was? I was thinking about this on Friday night. It's not as if this is a new thing. We've been watching this for 3 years now. That at the key moments in the big games, right? I mean, all right, let's say it all goes belly up. I nearly said a word I shouldn't say then. Let's say it all goes belly up and they finish outside the top 5. Well, one thing's going to happen. Jonathan Wimbush is going to be flayed alive for a quote he mentioned on this show. I haven't forgotten about that. But also...
It's theirs to lose, baby.
Yeah, okay. But you know what will happen? The first ones to go, we should be playing Champions League football. We're out of here. Right? I tell you what, lads, It was mostly you because the squad hasn't changed all that much because of the restrictions. It was mostly you who didn't show up at Old Trafford on the final day last season when it was there for you to go and get in the Champions League. But hey, you've got a refereeing blunder to hide behind, haven't you? Like a bunch of cowards, right? You didn't turn up all day. Paddy Silk was there. He can comment on that in just a moment. The FA Cup last season was there for you to go and win. What happened? The usual no-show in a semi-final against Crystal Palace. 2 seasons ago, they should have won the Europa Conference League in their sleep. Bottled it against Olympiacos, right? Beating Manchester City in October and beating Arsenal in November have absolutely no bearing on where the prizes are going to be dished out come May. Because we've seen it now, there's enough evidence there over the course of the tenure of Unai Emery, and I'm not necessarily blaming him because he's not out there, but when it comes to the crunch, this lot have shown they haven't got the minerals. I've needed to say that for 48 hours now, and I'm glad I have. I feel better already. Paddy Silk, you were at that game at Old Trafford final day last season. If you want to tell me I'm wrong, mate, by all means, but that is how I feel about watching what I watched on Friday night and the general feeling, the bigger the game, they're less likely to show up.
You're right, because you've hit the nail on the head. I was there with Mick McGough last. I said to Mick during the concert, "This isn't that Villa haven't turned up at all today," and I was so shocked, thinking you were going to win that game and get the Champions League, and it was a nail on. I felt didn't think United were playing very well, but you're right. That day, you never turned up, and they didn't have the kahunas or have a captain who was going to get them by the scruff of the neck that day to pull them through, and that's what you knocked it on the head, Ben. They just didn't turn up that day. And the other night, the Wolves game, they didn't turn up. And it just seems a bit of a pattern where there's important games where they just don't turn up. But there was no captain, there was no leadership, I didn't feel, on that last day of the season. Obviously, with the keeper being sent, didn't help, did it? But there was nothing the other night I didn't feel. I just feel they were just going through the motions.
Well, there have been people on social media who I said in writing effectively what I just said there. What are you holding your phone up, Ed? What's that? You're holding your phone up on the screen. I can't read that.
I was trying
glad
to.
I'm glad you don't
write.
do driving tests. The written version of it, I'd fail in an instant.
I was trying to write. I told you so. I called this. I said that people are getting well ahead of themselves by saying, "Oh, we should be in the discussion for a title challenge." Blah blah blah. I know.
Okay.
I know you're.
Can I count that? You've never ever heard me say that.
I
I appreciate that.
I thought it. I've got to be honest with you.
Fine. But people were talking that way. I'm saying, why don't the mainstream media decide? This is why. You don't have the squad for it. You don't have the know-how for it. You were never going to be in a title challenge. And now, have you dropped down to 5th today? Am I right in saying that?
No. I mean,
no.
And do you know what? That's the word. That is the
worst
goal
difference.
The worst part about this whole thing since Friday night is that they put me in a position where I watched the game of football this afternoon, wanting Arsenal to win. Oh,
yeah, that's painful. Because we all
no,
as we all know, it's Man City when it don't count anyway. So, we can't wish for Arsenal to win.
But everything I said 5 minutes ago, I put in writing in Villa fan groups on social media on Friday night, and the people coming back at me. One person said 3 words: "You're a moron." Okay. Well, nice. I thought, okay, fair enough.
But character.
Okay, well, I've just laid out my opinion and backed it up with facts as to why I feel that way. You've come back at me and said you're a moron. Okay, each to their own. But there were people that were coming back at me saying, "Yeah, but look at the players who are out. There's no McGinn, there's no Tillemans, there's no Kawhi. That doesn't mean Wolves should want it more."
Yeah. No, Ben, you are within your rights to be annoyed. And can I make a point, please? You're within your rights as a fan to be annoyed at that performance. By the way, if you choose as an away fan in a West Midlands stadium to tell the players that wasn't good enough, I don't think the players were in any position to start gobbing off back at them, and Constant wants to have a look at himself for that.
Not
I
at all.
appreciate I don't know what was said, but they're well within their rights to be critical of that performance.
Yeah, well, to take a bit of passion and a bit of pride in your performance, the moment the referee has blown the final whistle, when you
But
didn't for the 96 plus minutes,
Does my head in.
it
People kicking off after the
you know,
whistle's gone. Show that fight on the pitch. Never mind kicking off at
absolutely,
the ground
Ben,
absolutely.
afterwards.
Ben, can I come in on this? You can't let Emery off the hook here tactically. I've got to be honest with you as well. He
Maybe
does.
not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Where do we go? I mean, what's? Did they throw all the eggs into the Europa League basket now? Right, because and the reason why this is a tricky question is they got the worst possible draw in Lille because
Still the best
Lille
team in
will
that
be out for
competition.
blood after the Conference League game that went to penalties. Emi Martinez was Emi Martinez in the penalty shootout. They won't have forgotten that. So if the big players in terms of quality aren't back, they're going to have to stand up there. They're going to have to be big and strong, particularly in that away leg. They've got the benefit of having the second leg at home, but I just want to see more. They've gone back to those first 5 games of the season again, where
Yeah,
they're plodding along. Right now,
yeah.
they got a spark from somewhere that changed the season round, and they went on a. Can they find it again? That's the big question, and it starts with Chelsea on Wednesday night. You don't know what you're going to get with Chelsea. You know, it's either or, and then it's Man United next Sunday at Old Trafford. 2 games that are going to be absolutely crucial as to whether or not Jonathan Wimbush escapes with his reputation intact. And that is the
Reputation.
Ensign, you haven't said anything on this Villa situation. You got an opinion on Villa, mate?
I'm going to try and be the voice of reason because football is all about opinions, isn't it? So, and the frustrations for whatever football club you support, you'll always have them. The highs and lows and the mediums, they'll always be there. But it's like, what else did he expect Villa to do? They weren't going to win it, but they put themselves in there. So now what's happened is that they didn't turn up against their West Midlands rivals. It was obvious. But then you've got to give that credit to Wolves as much as Villa need to look at themselves. There's no depth, and when the injuries have come, they've been found out, haven't they? So I think those Villa fans have got every right to be frustrated and every right to how you feel. At the end of the day, it's just they just haven't got the squad that's big enough to keep them.
And if they haven't got the squad depth, that's fine. And big players, you say we're missing on Friday night, then you fight and you scrap and you claw, and even if you get out of there with a 0-0, right?
Yes, what I'm saying is though,
they didn't do that.
They didn't turn up. They didn't turn up, did they? So you have to. That's a responsibility on the players. The manager has to get that through their. It's a given that should be done anyway. That's a given. You fight no matter what, and that wasn't there, was it?
Yeah, and I didn't get this whole thing. Oh, well, they were much the better side of the first half. Had 3 big chances. Blah blah. What? Really? No,
That's generous.
That's very generous. Kim Smith is with us. We haven't had a chance to speak to Kim yet. I mean, have you got a reasonable opinion? I know that's difficult after everything I've spewed
I was
so far. But
in the studio on Friday night listening to our commentary, and certainly from what was coming down the mic into the studio, it did sound as though Wolves wanted it more. They were pushing harder. Obviously, local derbies are, a sort of special occasion, and they did the business as actually they did a year ago. Because yesterday John Wimbush reminded me in the studio that last February Wolves also beat Villa at the
they
Molineux.
did. I heard him say that actually on the air, and
Yeah.
I was in the middle of being. I was at a soft play party. You know, I mean, Friday night watching that, and then I'm listening, screaming kids and all that, and then I've got Jonathan Wimbush in my earbuds. Right, saying, well, they lost 2-0 at Molly. Last season, they got robbed by a terrible VAR decision with an offside. And I was like, okay. But Friday night was unacceptable from start to finish. And that's where we're at. Now, Wolves, unfortunately, are going down. The question is, will Wolves still have their big derby in the Championship next season? We're going to talk about West Bromwich Albion's plight next.
BHBN Radio has been going since 1952. It is run entirely by volunteers, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Right now, BHBN needs friends like you to ensure it can broadcast to hospitals, care homes, and into the community for many more years to come. You can help by donating through our Just GoFundMe account. It's easy. Simply go to our website, bhbn.net, scan our GoFundMe QR code, and in a few clicks, you can help us out. If you're a taxpayer, you can give 25% more through gift aid at no extra cost to you.
BHBN Radio.
It is the Monday after from Birmingham Sport, BHBN Radio. 40 seconds just to try and calm down there. I don't think I've achieved it, quite frankly, but there we are. And yeah, we're moving to the Championship now. This was live on BHBN on Saturday afternoon from the Kassam Stadium. I always feel when you say the Kassam Stadium, a genie's supposed to pop up or something. I don't know why they've called it that, but Oxford 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Ed Mackay was there. Along with Rob Richards. You can listen to the highlights, like we said, on our YouTube and TikTok channels, for which we would like you to like the videos and subscribe. Amazing numbers that's doing. Thank you very much indeed. It's going from bad to worse, Ed. There's no sign of this ever improving, is there?
Don't know. I actually don't know where to start because the performance was as poor as the Wi-Fi signal was.
Yeah.
Well, I had a few technical issues trying to get the commentary across to the listeners, so I apologize for that. But in all honesty, if you had been listening, you would have put your fingers in your ears anyway. I honestly believed that West Brom were going to turn up knowing this is a 6-pointer. This is our opportunity to actually try and create a little bit of space between us and Leicester. Leicester let them in earlier on in the day by dropping points. I could not believe what I was watching. Now, I appreciate they've got rid of their manager. Breaking news earlier in the week, they've got rid of their manager, who we all said was a ridiculous appointment in the first place. They looked so confused as to what to do on the pitch. It was laughable. They looked like, look, I spoke to Oxford United staff before the game, and I said this in the short, so I don't want to repeat myself too much, but they were saying, you wait till next season, we'll give it some in League One. They know they're going down, much like the Wolves do. They made West Brom look like a League One team who they were going to spank next season because 5 minutes into the game, they took the lead. And West Brom never had an idea in their head. The goal they got was a fluke. It deflected into the back of the net, looped over the keeper. They didn't create anything. They didn't fight. They didn't show that they wanted it. If you were disappointed in Villa's lack of fight, I tell you now, West Brom fans should be
I saw plenty
crying
of it.
into their pillows.
Yeah, in listening to you guys and watching the clips.
It's disappointing because I know we all have our own affiliations, but we as a team, the BHBN team, want all the Midlands
sure.
teams to do well. But we want to see some fight, and I didn't see that. And now I think they're going down. I'm sorry.
There's just
really
no
do.
quality in there at all. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, even the long throws were poor, weren't they? I mean, it's just that. I mean, Oxford hadn't scored in 4 games, and you go 2-0 down to them from set pieces.
Him and I watched Birmingham versus Oxford, and Birmingham made Oxford look really ordinary. They made them look like a League One team, and Birmingham started bringing on their new signings to just to put their foot on the throat in the last minutes. None of that from West Brom. They looked really poor. Honestly, they looked like a League One team. And Oxford United already know they're a League One team. That's how bad they were. Don't know how to express it. They were awful.
Yeah. And I've seen West Brom fans on social media say, well, we'll go down to League One and we'll have a season like Blues and we'll come right back up. You will not.
So sure of that. No, I
You will
couldn't be so
not.
sure of that. Really
Because
dangerous to get relegated.
because I mean the comparison, Kim, in the season that Blues went down and what West Brom is happening to them now in terms of on the field, that's a fair comparison.
Yeah.
Off the field,
Yeah.
it's not, right? With Blues, the takeover had already happened. They were getting all their ducks in a row. And the stark reality for Blues relegation is it could have happened in any one of the previous 6 or 7 seasons prior to the season that it actually did happen. And there were real fears back then that if they go down with the previous ownership, it could be oblivion time. Okay, we've got the new owners. We don't want to go down, but we can see what the plan is. We can see where they want to take the club, and it's something that we can get enthusiastic about and where we can get behind. Albion fans have been almost conned by this new administration that's in charge now. They had to get the club off the previous guy. That's a given. I mean, he what did he do? He took a £20 loan out of the club.
20 million quid
£20,
loan to
sorry,
himself,
20 million,
didn't he?
yeah. He took a £20 million loan out against the club and loaned it to himself. Okay. EFL, where is your fit and proper garbage?
No.
Oh, now there's an independent regulator as well who only have a budget to the governance of the entire football from an independent point of view of £10 million. That's their
10 million
budget.
quid.
What effect did that? Look at Sheffield. Look at Sheffield Wednesday. Are they going to have that kind of effect? This independent regulator. So if Albion fans think we'll go down, we'll bounce right back up, and we'll come back even stronger, I don't think so. I'd be looking at trying to stay in League One next season.
Yeah, it's a grim
Well, that's-
situation for them. And I think what Blues had done, they'd got plans in place for how they were going to manage League One. They'd got plans in place for raising revenue so that they could do things like blow 15 million quid on Jay Stansfield. I mean, okay, the expenditure rules are different, but I can't see West Brom putting stuff like that in place. And that's why Blues did the bounce back so efficiently. But I just fear for West Brom so much. And it's that carbon copy experience, isn't it? You know, the players looking lost and confused, and then you hear the fans on the phone-ins and they sound broken. And it's just like 2 years ago. But I do really, really worry for West Brom. And if they do stay up, I think it will be more luck than ability, if I'm really honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Paddy, we said on the show last week that it's amazing to think. My opinion on this is that Carlos Corberán saw this coming a mile off the direction where the club was heading, and he got everything he could out of the squad that he had. I mean, got him into the playoffs, which, when you look at it now, seems like an absolute miracle. I mean, they've let a lot of players go, and he realised where it's going. First opportunity that came up, hometown club, back in Spain, off he goes. And it almost came out of nowhere. And we said on the show last week that feels like it was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
When in fact, it was just 14 months ago. It was just before Christmas 2024. So to see the rapid decline of them here, Paddy, I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible. Do you know, I think I was surprised when they made this sort of appointment. What they should have done, I mean, I know everyone said this already, but got Warnock in, or Sam Allardyce, or Harry Redknapp, or someone. Well, I know. Just a bit.
He's got a talkie.
I've been saying it for weeks, and he's gone to Torquay tonight. I've been saying that name for weeks, Pad. Honestly, I find it ridiculous that they got a like-for-like replacement for Ryan Mason when there are people out there who are tried and tested. They know the league. I mean, we spoke to Jonathan yesterday, and I said to him, "How do you feel about the fact they didn't turn up?" And he said, "We start every season expecting to be in a playoff place. They're going down.
Well,
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
bonkers."
But at the same time, and we tried to put balance in here, it wasn't until late September where they suffered their first defeat. They'd actually started the season
Yeah.
reasonably well.
Yeah.
They lost 1-0. I was at the game. They lost 1-0 to Derby
It's
in the
even
last 5 minutes
worse.
of the game. But this Neil Warnock thing, I mean, it's obviously not going to happen now because he's at Torquay. If he had come in, they're away at Sheffield United next weekend, a revisit of the Battle of Bramall
Oh,
Lane, if you're old enough to remember that carnage from that day. And the thing is, if they don't stand up to a Chris Wilder side away from home, I mean, even Blues got hammered there. I mean,
yeah.
Well, they're not
before
going
Christmas,
to,
didn't they?
Ben.
Quite
They're not
comfortably.
Yeah.
going to, Ben.
Yeah, I know, I know. We are short
They're
on
going to get
time.
beaten.
Well, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I'll,
I
I'll,
know.
I'll
Well,
shut up. But
we are,
it was so bad.
yeah, okay. Right, so usually a review, but there's one game that hasn't happened yet, and that's Blues against Middlesbrough. Kim and myself are going to be at St Andrews on Monday night. And it is an interesting one. This, it's not so much a review because it was too many days ago, but off the back of the
Yeah.
defeat to Millwall, as he scores a good goal to give Millwall the lead, and you say fair play to
Yeah.
him. The disappointing thing from a Blues perspective, though, Kim, was how quickly they conceded the second goal. You know, if you can
Yeah.
keep it 1-0, you're still in the game. But within 4 or 5 minutes, it was 2-0. Then you get the third goal right at the start of the second half, and then the red card as well for John. I
Yeah.
was looking forward to seeing Solis play in
Yeah.
person, but that's not going to happen now. But you know, let's not take anything away from Millwall. You know that they're fighting with Middlesbrough for
Oh,
a top
yeah.
two. I think Coventry
Yeah.
are almost home and dry now, but you know, Millwall and Middlesbrough back-to-back games is a good test to see exactly where Blues are at.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, you know, we have got the home form to call on for that. I mean, Millwall, I think sometimes you've just got to accept you've been done over and move on. But I'm hoping for a better showing against Boro tomorrow night. Obviously, there will be no John Solis, but we don't know yet if Kai Wagner is going to be okay because he took a very bad blow to his shoulder. Chris Davis had said it's not as bad as they first feared,
Okay.
but I'm not sure if he will be playing left back. So we might see Ethan Laird at left back tomorrow and Asai Samuel on the right. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Blues deal with Borough. And of course, Borough have been slightly up and down themselves in the past few weeks as well. So probably be a horrible, boring draw. You never know.
Oh no, don't do that to me. I'm actually looking forward to it. Paddy, this playoff picture is fascinating though, isn't it? I mean, you could go down to about 12th, 13th
Yeah.
for teams that if they put a run together these last couple of months, you know, could easily get in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope Birmingham do, to be fair. I'm just thinking, as Kim said, if we put Millwall down as a one-off, and Middlesbrough are a good side, aren't they? So
Yeah.
my worry
Yeah.
is that it is the game, and with but you never know. Like you said, that championship is it's a real strange conundrum of teams who can get there. It's a tough one. It's probably a really tough league, isn't it? And I'm wondering, like you say, you shouldn't just get written off after one game because Birmingham have been playing well, and they got the players that have come have done really well. But I'm just wondering, are they good enough to go up now in the playoffs? Maybe, I don't know. But like you said,
Well,
they could win the next few games, and it could all change again. So it could all
Yeah.
rumble
Yeah.
back again, couldn't it?
Well, we've said it before, and if it's there to go for, you should go for it by all
Yeah.
means. But I really think a lot of their January business was to prepare for next season.
Yeah.
To get
Yeah.
all of
And they-
the big players that they wanted in and settled part of it, full pre-season under their belts, and then try and start like
Yeah.
a train. I'm going to give the final word on this to Enton Barefoot because we're going to have to wrap it up in just a second. But Enton, how do you think it's going to go for Blues against Middlesbrough?
It should be a good game, and I'm hoping that Birmingham can actually steal the points from and just get themselves in with the sharp for the playoffs. I think that would be justice for them, because I think they've played well this season. I think there's a good squad, and I think there's a good championship squad, and Middlesbrough have one as well, have a good one too. But it just would be nice if Blues can get into the playoffs and give themselves a chance.
Absolutely. We are coming to the end of our allotted time. You are going to be hearing more about Solihull Moors throughout the forthcoming weeks. We've been doing a lot of negotiations with the Moors about getting them on to BHBN, and we're going to start featuring them in the Monday after. They had another comeback defeat yesterday. They were 2-0 up at Scunthorpe, ended up losing it 3-2, and a similar story happened against Hartlepool the week before. But as we say, they will be featuring a lot more. Wolves against Liverpool in the FA Cup Friday night will be live across the boards on BHBN, and all of the great coverage that we're going to bring you next weekend and the Monday after as well. We ask you to click like and subscribe on our YouTube and TikTok channels. We do appreciate the numbers that it's putting up. For Enter Barefoot, Paddy Silk, it's Kim Smith and also Ed Mackay. I'm Ben Ellis. This has been the Monday After.
Birmingham Sports
with Ben Ellis.
This is BHBN Radio.